Hello, Robert. This is my brake booster testing machine. It's out of focus because I'm on macro settings so that we can see the gauges um, better. And just going to go over your booster very quickly. It's a good functioning unit, and what we're going to check for is our vacuum. Your booster is a very early booster, which does not have a port right here for determining for checking the vacuum differential inside the can. So this gauge will stay at 0 because there's no place to hook it up, and this gauge will simply show vacuum. And what we also can see on there is if there's any leakage internally inside the booster in terms of the diaphragm. This will be the main set of gauges we'll be using for to determine the effectiveness of the booster. And this is hydraulic, and so what we've got here is our input. This gauge is going to go up to where it maxes out, and then this gauge continues the process and gives our final input pressure. And our input pressure is determined by the master cylinder here. This is our master cylinder, and it's malfunctioning. It's got some O-rings inside that are malfunctioning, so every once in a while I don't get it'll take me a little bit to build up pressure, and that has nothing to do with your booster. What does have to do with your booster is our output pressure, and this gauge is going to go to the top, max out, and then this gauge will take over and give our final pressure. And what we're looking for is a 2-to-1 ratio. So whatever this gauge puts out here, we want to see double that on this gauge right here. Turn it off to see if we hear any leaks. Okay, and the gauge going down just a function of my test equipment here. So say for about 250 or so over here. We're about 600 here. Now let's start over. Let's recycle it. When this gauge is when the master cylinder is working properly, this gauge will go up to 350. Better than 600. So we have a nice boost, and we'll also put it down here where you can hear the chuffing, which is normal. Recovery on the vacuum, and there we go, full pressurization. Now while we're under pressure, we're checking for leaks. If it's going to leak, it's going to be right here. Now that drip you saw right there is from my fitting. We're checking for leaks at the bleed screws. And checking the big main drip leak would be right here. That is a very good booster. Now this bleed screw is not leaking, and it's just fine. You don't need to even use it for bleeding the brakes. This is the bleed screw you need to use, and it's a very nice one because it's got a place where you can slip your bleed hose on here. And bleed this at the first when you start the process of bleeding the brakes, and then bleed this at the very last. And you should be in good shape. It's a good looking booster, and it works just like it's supposed to. Thank you for your patience while I sourced all the parts to build this thing.